All right, so I wasn't going to go live today. However, I was like, hey, let's go ahead and get this all set up. So basically this morning, I woke up and I was like, hey, am I going to be able to do this with the internet locally? And I, got everything set up, and it was just having all kinds of issues. So what I did is I went out, grabbed some coffee, came back, talked to the hotel, and I was supposedly on the wrong internet because there's one for like a free internet, and then there's one as part of like the Hilton Honors or whatever. So the one that I was on wasn't good for streaming. This one still isn't great. The thing, not at VidSummit yet, Renee, but for this particular stream, my upload is, I think, like 3 or 4. So, I mean, it's, I'm just waiting for it to drop out at any moment. But what we're going to do is I just wanted to come live and, hang out because it's what we do, right? On Saturdays, it's just a little bit delayed. So I won't be streaming for as long today. But, I just wanted to check in, see how everybody's doing, answer some YouTube questions, that whole thing. So yeah, a little bit of a bump here. Yeah, glad got up and running as well. Says we go fishing. Chatty Cathy says, hope you're rested. Yeah, my jet lag's been a blast. So with that, basically coming from Thailand over to the States, I have to adjust to everything. Everything's completely backwards. So it just does a number on me. So I'll go to sleep at like 10 p.m. and then I'll wake up at midnight. And then I go back to sleep after 30 minutes of tossing and turning. Wake up again a couple of hours later. Like it's all kinds of fun. But I'm on the back side of it though. So I come a little bit early and spend a handful of days here so that I can get ready and fresh for VidSummit, so I can be fully present at VidSummit. So because of that, I'm on the back of end of it. So definitely a lot better. So yeah. So what we're gonna do is one, we're hanging out. Two, as you can tell, different environment here. But two, we are also, if you have any, questions about YouTube, whatever, you can drop them in the forum that's down in the video description, or you can just drop them in the chat. We're going super casual today because I probably won't be streaming as long. So, if anything, if you're trying to figure anything out about your YouTube channel, have any questions about anything that's going on, just let me know. Jerry, what's going on, man? Yeah, happy to be back. It definitely takes a little bit of getting used to because things are different here. White Pepper Farms, what's going on? Oh yeah, we'll definitely run into each other at VidSummit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to post in my community feed, and I might post one in the app as well. For like a time and a location for anybody that hangs out in the stream here normally that's going to VidSummit for people to hang out. So yeah, so I definitely want to connect with everybody. That's part of the whole thing of coming over here, right? Is it's connecting with everybody and just having that one-on-one with people and hanging out and all that. Yeah, absolutely love it. Let's see here. So, yeah, so what we are going to do, Monique says, I can handle the 6-hour difference when I'm in Florida, just barely. Yeah. So, so this is like a full flip, where I am. So, cause I'm in Arizona right now. So from where I am, this is like a, 14-hour, I believe a 14-hour flip from where I am, which is kind of crazy. Definitely takes some adjustments. DePaul's flying in on Monday for VidSummit. Awesome. Absolutely love it. The blueprint says you're getting ready for the event. Absolutely. Super pumped up for that and excited to, hang out and see everybody. So really quick, let's get some questions. Oh, also one thing that I want to mention, and I just found out about this this morning. Give me 1 second and let me grab a link to it. But for those of you that can't make it to VidSummit, they have a option now. Let me see. Oh man, I think I shared it out on Twitter. Give me 1 second. But they have an option now. They're going to be live streaming it. So if you can't get there, then this is a great way to see, the content that pops up at VidSummit. So let's see here. Let me click on this link that I have on my X. Yeah, here we go. So they're calling it a virtual ticket, and I'll just drop it right here into the chat. So it's a virtual ticket. So for this virtual ticket, you get the, all the presentations and all that stuff. It's not like a live stream in the hallways and, all of that, but you get, all of the presentations. So it's like a course essentially, but you get all the presentations, and then you also get the replays of those presentations as well, so that you can pick which ones that you want to see live, and then you can go back and grab whichever ones you want to watch on the replay and watch them as many times as you need to if you're taking notes and stuff like that. Let's see here. So Renee says, "Go Arizona." Yeah, in Arizona. So let's see here. So yeah, so there was a question from Glorious Earth. And we're just going to pull these. I do have the form down in the description, but I think I'm just going to pull these from the chat. So if you have any questions, just drop them into the chat. It's helpful for me so that I know that that it's targeted towards me. If you put a Q in front of a question, if you do have one, and then that way, it just helps me be able to know that you have a question. So it pops out in the feed there. But Glorious Earth says, "Should I start a new channel since my current is stuck for so long?" So the problem with starting a new channel, to fix the problem of a channel being stuck for a long time, is that it might, in most cases, it's not the channel, it's how people are responding to the content itself. So I'm looking at your YouTube channel right now, and it looks like you're publishing, like a video a month, sometimes 2 videos, per month. And with those videos, they're relatively short videos. Like you've got one here, the last one that you did is like 12 seconds long. You've got another one here for 49 seconds. Like I would focus more on, making content, learning. Okay, for the people that I'm trying to create these, it looks like you're just showing like scenery and stuff. So for the people I'm trying to show this to, like, how can I make this great for them, right? So, maybe it'd be longer, maybe I can put a theme behind it. So for example, scenery to listen to while you sleep. I guess that kind of. Okay. So it looks like we just switched over to the webcam, which is fine. We'll roll this way, whatever. The sound's probably going to be a little bit weird in comparison, but I keep having this issue with my DJI disconnecting here. So we'll see if we can get that squeezed back in there real quick. But yeah, so just thinking like a theme, like, hey, can I do something here to where I can, make this, just of more value to the people that I'm trying to reach with this content. And then when you start taking that approach, it makes it where, you're intentionally. Okay, let's see. We got the audio coming back in there, and then we've got this switch. There we go. To where you are intentionally, creating something for the viewer, right? Because when it comes to YouTube, like back in the day, right? Back in the day, it was a lot easier to where you could get away with just posting stuff like that, and a lot easier because it wasn't, as competitive as it is now. But right now, hey, what's going on, Doug? What's going on, Chantel? Hope you guys are great. Thanks for dropping in on a sudden notice here, or a no notice, I should say. But yeah, the idea though is, because YouTube is competitive now, everything comes down to, how people respond to what it is that you're doing. So because of that, the days of just like, uploading just like a random video and things like that, I mean, you might get lucky and, have something that you put out that people, respond to at a high level. But to be able to consistently do it, video after video after video over the span of a year, 2 years, 3 years, that type of thing, like you gotta learn how to create a piece of content that adds value to people in some way. And it can be utility stuff, like I was saying with your content. It can be something where, you make it for people to meditate to, that's a utility. You make it for people to listen to while they sleep, that's a utility, those types of things. I would explore that way before I would even consider starting a new channel, because a new channel won't be the solution, because the content itself will be the same. And Roberto Blake in the house says you got to make content that people want to watch. Absolutely. And that people want to keep coming back for, right? Like that's a big part of it too. They gotta want to watch it, and they gotta want to keep coming back for it as well. So let's see here. Let's go and look for some cues. Okay, so we've got, I saw some come in. Let me scroll down here. Okay, Loosely Louise says, I noticed YouTube has fixed the shorts contradiction problem. I'm not sure what you are referring to with the shorts contradiction problem. Let's see here. Jerry mentions if you meant like conflicting, like content in terms of, you're publishing shorts and it's hurting other content. They fixed that particular thing a long time ago. So I'm assuming that you're talking about something else. And Jerry says, with the shorts that you posted to your main and Nimin Extra channel, have you come across any actionable trends or ideas that stick out as far as strategy? No, I'm really loose with shorts, as you can see on my channel. I'm not very consistent. Over on the other one, we just use it as a place to get out additional content. That's actually going to ramp up soon because I use Opus Clip for that content over there. And currently, we usually publish about a video a day. One thing that we've done recently is we've started shortening the videos that are going out there so that we can, just see, with my type of content, does the shorter videos, will they get, a little bit more legs on them? But basically, with Opus Clip, they have a feature that they're rolling out to where, it's available already, but to where you can set everything up and then it'll just basically it clips them and then it'll automatically, put them over there. So I'm going to be experimenting with that coming up as well. But basically shorten things down, see if people, respond as well to that is definitely something there. And when it comes to the main channel, I will start uploading more YouTube shorts. I don't know if you're following my new TikTok account or not, Jerry, or over on Instagram. But basically, I think it was like a 90-day period where I was publishing daily. And I've still got a bunch of like videos like queued up to go. Or not queued up, but like, that need to be scheduled and put out. But out of that content, I'm going to end up putting that on my main YouTube channel as well for a lot of it, not everything. But, shorts is valuable and it's a great way to get in front of people that you might not have gotten in front of otherwise, So for example, if YouTube doesn't recommend my content to a YouTuber, like a long form video, but that YouTuber's in YouTube Shorts, and then they see me pop up there, and they're like, oh, YouTube, that's a good YouTube tip right there, and I'm a YouTuber, so let me see what else this guy has. Then, that's just a way for me to get in front of more people. So I'll definitely be scaling that up over time. Probably actually right when I get back from VidSummit, I'll start doing that. So what I'm doing right now on my channel is, on this channel, I should say, is I am kind of building the infrastructure stuff for what I plan to do over the next like 3 years or so. And with that, I've already got, a couple apps out, but I have some like a software version of that's on the way. I've got a free browser extension that I'm putting out that has, all kinds of like really cool stuff in it for content creators. I'm just kind of building out all of those types of things to where over the next, few years, I have those, consistent things that I can build as part of the business side of what I do that just allows me to, be able to be a little bit more intentional with, where, things I'm introducing people to and, that kind of stuff to where, I have a little bit more input into exactly what it is, that people get to experience with the different, tools that people are using and stuff like that. Let's see here. So I'm going to keep on scrolling down. And if you are just joining the stream, if you have a question, just put a Q in front of it. And then I'm just kind of scrolling through here and hitting them as I go. So we go fishing. It says my watch time, impressions, and view duration are up, but my overall views are down. What could be causing this? So if your impressions are up, but the views are down, then that means that people aren't, clicking on your content as much. Like the people that are clicking seems to be a good fit, right? Because your view durations are up. So that means that the people that are interacting with it are watching for a longer period of time. But, you might be having difficulty getting people to click. So the first things that you should look for is go into your traffic sources. So go into your advanced mode of your analytics and then go into your traffic sources there and compare them against videos because you're saying that they're down, which means that you have other videos that have done better. So go into those other videos and just start to get an idea of how people responded to those. And you do that by going into your traffic sources report, looking at your click-through rate there on the different pages of YouTube compared to the impressions that you have. You can also use the comparison tool as well to directly compare video A against video B and that kind of stuff. But look at your click-through rate compared to impressions on the different pages of YouTube because it's really insightful because you'll find things, same thing with watch time, all of that from the different pages of YouTube. It's insightful because you'll see that, hey, maybe this video, this got a lot of suggested traffic, and that's why it did better, or these videos over here, whereas, this one here, it's not getting, as much love and suggested videos. So why is that, right? Is it, topic? Is it, do I have, is the title getting cut off and the thumbnail isn't super clear on what the video is about, like that kind of stuff. And then when it comes to the, amount of time that people are watching, it can also help you identify additional things. So for example, if you find that, you had a video that was doing well on home pages, and then you're comparing it against a video that's not doing as well, and you find like, okay, people aren't responding to this well on home pages, then it helps you identify the problem, or, something could be the problem. And then you have to start applying theory to it, to where you're like, okay, so if this isn't doing as well on home pages, why could that be? Is it the topic itself, to where the topic isn't as of much interest to people? Is it the way that I package this up, to where maybe it's not as compelling, when it's shown up on a homepage, but maybe if somebody's searching for it, it might be more relevant to them. The topic itself, is it something that on a homepage people would be like, hey, this is something that I feel like I need to watch? Or is it something where people would be like, oh, that looks interesting, but I don't feel like I got to click on it right now, like that kind of stuff. Premier Travel, what's going on? Hope you're doing great. Let's see here, scrolling down here. And again, if you're just joining the stream, if you have any questions, just make sure that you put a Q in front of them, and that helps me. That helps me know that it's a question. If I see a question, I might still, I'll still do it, like this one right here, if I see that it's a question. So Gaming Plus TV says, how do you stay motivated when numbers drop? So having a purpose and a goal, or multiple goals around what it is that you're doing, can be that thing. So the purpose can be, like in your particular case, I'm not sure exactly the type of content that you're making, but I see it growing gaming. So, your particular thing could be like, hey, I want to help people, like navigate, these particular games in a more easy way, so they can get better at it and have more fun playing the game. Your purpose could be that your bigger purpose could be like, hey, I want to, get in front of all of these gamers through my, either help content or my let's play content / entertainment content around gaming. So that down the road, maybe if I want to build games or something like that, that I have this built-in audience that, that I can start, spreading this stuff through. But, like just finding your, goals of what you're trying to accomplish that are not necessarily have goals around, view counts, subscriber counts, watch time, all that stuff, but also have something that's more, I'm not going to say meaningful, because those things matter too, but something that actually makes you feel like, okay, things aren't working out right now. And since they're not working out right now, like in order to accomplish this, then it's important to me that I accomplish this, because you have that, why. So what do I need to work on right now to help me improve, so that I'm increasing the likelihood that I'm going to be able to accomplish this thing that I'm trying to do, whatever that is for you. So, when the numbers drop, there's that. There's also the side of just understanding that YouTube does have ebbs and flows. So when it comes to YouTube, if you look at any channel on YouTube, it's never like this, right? If you look at the stats, it's never just this, and then it just continues that way forever. Even, the biggest channel on YouTube, if you look at Mr. Beast, even though, he has a huge, floor in terms of his baseline, right? But even though the floor is huge, his views, if you go look month to month, like they swing heavy. Millions, hundreds of millions in some cases, of views in both directions. So when it comes to YouTube, there is ebbs and flows to it, and just understanding that also can make a big difference. And then also understanding the long game when it comes to publishing content on YouTube. So, with some platforms, you publish a piece of content. If it doesn't do well, it's over, like it's done, right? On YouTube, you can publish a piece of content. It might not do that well out of the gate, but as long as you continue getting impressions on it, then YouTube is still showing it to people that their system thinks might be interested in watching it. And as soon as you start having people respond well to it, then that's where you'll see people reporting that, hey, I published this video 2 months ago, and then now all of a sudden it's taken off out of nowhere. It's because, YouTube has found, those viewers for it, or that, it got connected or suggested next to another video that was appropriate for it, or something came up in the world or within your niche that all of a sudden started bringing more attention to the topic, those types of things. But at the end of the day, if you have just like strong goals, strong purpose, and, things that you're, trying to do, and value you're trying to add and stuff like that, then it can help you through those, it can help you through those hard times. So let me make sure my audio is still coming through. Default MacBook, it is. So yeah, we're just kind of switching back and forth here. I'm gonna try a different port on this Osmo here and see if I can change it. So I was trying it on that, and that's not working. Let me make sure this is all secure in here. We're going with the webcam. Okay, preparing webcam. Flip this puppy back around. Yeah, I've got like a box back here. There we go. And then I should be able to jump back over to that. Osmo Pocket, and then back to Osmo Pocket. All right. So, all right, we got the face cam going. Nice. Love it. Okay, so next up here, and let me know if you can. Hey, Tom Nash, what's going on, dude? Hope you are doing great. Yeah, and Tom, Tom, and hey, dude, congratulations to you too. Tom, he just had his first video that got 400,000 views the fastest, I think was what I saw you post on Twitter. So congratulations to you to that. But he says that he can confirm it. It's waves and never a straight line progress. Yeah, and some of that, it just comes down to, the interests of, your audience, just kind of being modified over time, comes down to, things, that are just kind of trending in your niche, comes down to decisions that we make, around the content that we're putting out. Sometimes we're on a roll, right? Sometimes we're like, yeah. And then, other times, man, I don't want that face tracking on there. And then other times the decisions that we make, we just don't nail it. We'll think that we're doing the right thing, but we might not, necessarily be doing, the right thing. Funny. Magic Pepper says, Nick's hotel live stream looks better than anything I could ever do. What's funny, man? All this is a DJI Osmo Pocket. So it looks pretty good. And I got the mic right here. And then I have a lamp right here where if I turn that off, it kind of, makes it look more like a room. But I basically brought that, closer and kind of, it's got like a shade on it. So it's not, too harsh or whatever. So not perfect, but the, it's definitely, and manually dialed in the camera as well. Let's see here. It says, will you be doing sudden death channel reviews again? I will. So basically, when I was doing those, there were some discrepancies in the checklist where, people are like, well, this and well, that and all that stuff. So I am going to do that, but I'm going to make it more clear first and make it, very specific to where there isn't this channel might be able to do this, but this channel can't, to where it's just a little bit more clear and a little bit more nuanced in the actual comparison, because I think those are fun and I think they're insightful also. But when it comes to that, hey, Tiffany, what's going on? Hope you're doing great. But yeah, I think those are fun. So I definitely will. And when I get back to, because if you look at my channel on the live stream side, you'll see that that I've been doing more like channel review streams and stuff like that lately. So I'll be doing those, more often and everything when I get back to. Dr. B says, thank you for your amazing advice. Really appreciate your generous help. My pleasure. Glad that you are enjoying the content. And let's see here. Okay, it says, I'm new to content creation. This is from Dr. B. It says, I'm new to content creation. I get about 500 to 1,000 views on shorts, but then only about 4 to 10 on longer videos. Is this normal, and where should I focus? So there's two things that I want to bring to your attention. Man, this headroom is just driving me crazy. There's two things I want to bring to your attention. The very first is that when you are, can I just manually do it? Not to fight me, I can't. Okay. So when you are publishing videos to YouTube Shorts, make sure that you're looking at engaged views instead of views. So engaged views are actual views. And I know this sounds confusing. So here's what happened. Let me tell you a story. So basically, TikTok, people are uploading videos to TikTok and they're like, man, all my videos are doing better on TikTok. Like, why aren't they doing this good on YouTube Shorts? So the problem there was that TikTok counts an impression, which is when they show the video to somebody, on the platform as a view. So what YouTube did is, instead of saying, hey, just, learn how to, make videos, because this is how we count them. So, instead of saying this is how they do it and we're going to do the same and just sticking to the way that they do it, they're like, hey, we're just going to make it super confusing, and we are going to do the same thing that TikTok does. So what they did is they changed YouTube Shorts views to impressions, but then they still call them views. And then the real views in YouTube Shorts is engaged views. So when you are looking at your views in YouTube Shorts, make sure that you are looking at engaged views and not just the views themselves, because it's misleading. And then the next part of that is it's a more, I don't know if important is the right word, but basically it's a bigger thing, is that when it comes to YouTube Shorts, if you just think about your own viewing behavior, when it comes to YouTube Shorts, you're sitting there on your phone, right? And you're just like flipping through and you're like, oh, okay, what's this? What's this? And as you're flipping through, it just pops up. Hey, what's going on? Or hey, somebody walking down the street, or somebody building something, or, whatever's going on in the short. So when that pops up, nobody has to make a choice about anything. It just shows up in front of them. And then from there, you have to capture their attention. And then, they watch the video there. But if you hold their attention for just barely, hardly any amount of time, then, well, one, if it just shows up, then, you're getting the view there. But if you hold their attention for any amount of time, then, it will be that engaged view. But it just shows up. They don't have to make a choice. You just have to be able to grab their attention in the video content itself. Maybe write a title that gives some context in case they look at it. However, when it comes to long form content, it's a totally different thing. And the reason it's a different thing is, in addition to making good video content that's usually longer than what you put up into YouTube Shorts and being able to keep people engaged in that, you also have to make videos on topics that people care about at scale, based around the type of content that you're making, right? That those people that are interested in that type of content, that they care about at scale. So that's one. And then you also have to learn how to package that content up through the thumbnail and title in a way that helps them identify that the content's about something that they care about through your thumbnail, and that it compels them to want to watch that video right now through the title, right? So the amount of things that you have to do when it comes to the long form content is much greater compared to get a reaction from somebody compared to YouTube Shorts. So because of that, what you're going through is completely normal, especially, just getting started. What you're going through is completely normal. So what you should focus on, if the priority for you is getting the views up on the longer videos, is focusing really hard on the topics that you are talking about and making sure that those topics are of interest to, large amounts of people. And there's nuance in this too. Like, for example, you have here, I'm looking at your channel real quick. You have, make sure my camera's still on. Okay. So you have, like why stress triggers annoyance and how to break free as one video. And with that, it looks like you are doing, okay. So I thought that you were doing things based around kids too. Hold on. PhD in clinical psychology with a parent-infant mental health specialization. Okay. So one thing to think about is, like, when you make a video about, why stress triggers annoyance and how to break free, I think that title's okay though. But when it comes to the person that watched that video, they may or may not care about the parenting is hard or 5 easy tips to help kids feel safe, happy, and resilient. So when it comes to, learning how to connect with a particular type of viewer, kind of picking your lane for right now, right, while you're getting started, so that you can pick up momentum. And then once you have that momentum, because you're operating at a larger scale, then you can start kind of, stepping out into other things that are still related to your expertise. But basically saying, okay, instead of doing like, stress things that might apply to general people, if I am going to be doing a lot of content around, helping, parents with kids and that kind of stuff, then let me focus on that first so that I can build up the audience for that, to where somebody is more likely to watch every video that I publish if they're into, that particular, topic. Whereas if you have like that video about just stress in general, that person might not even be a parent, but they can enjoy that content. And you can do that kind of stuff later, but I would just double down right now on a very specific type of viewer, build the audience up, and then you're operating at scale. And when you're operating at scale, then you have the opportunity to use that scale as like a filter of sorts, because then you've got people that, are interacting with your channel that are in your, you're in their recent viewer history, stuff like that. People that just come in and watch the stuff that you make just because they enjoy it. And then out of all of those people, when you do talk about general stress, there's going to be a percentage of them that will respond to that video as well. And then that can help, that video get the initial, information that it needs for YouTube to show it to the right people. So yeah, so that particular thing that you're dealing with though is really common when it comes to YouTube on, like shorts views, getting, seeing more activity there, just because it's a lower lift thing and it's a smaller commitment from the viewer too. Because, like when a short pops up, you're like, okay, I'm watching this or I'm not. But if you do, then, like, hey, yeah, I might spend, you expect to spend, like maybe I'll spend a minute on this. I know people publish, like 3-minute shorts and all that. But, most people are still doing, around a minute or less when it comes to shorts. Next up, we have the Mangerino Adventure. Says, I do A/B testing and now title testing. My click isn't much, so not enough data. So is there another way in the analytics to get feedback with my low traffic? Let's see if I can find your channel here real quick. I wish I could open these directly out of StreamYard. I'm just kind of scrolling up here in the chat looking for it. And Philip says, nice place. I'm in a hotel right now. Yeah, this isn't my place. Let's see here. Looking for that channel. There we go. Gotcha. Yeah. So the thing, like when you are, just getting started and you don't have a lot of, information yet. Oh, wait, you've got views on your channel. Hold on. Let me see. Go to popular. Yeah. You've got one with like 23,000 views on it. Yeah. So you should be getting the information that you need on those like lower viewed videos that you've been doing recently. There, in terms of getting feedback, you can still go into your advanced mode analytics. You might see on the views, the ones over 100 views, you should definitely see some information in your advanced mode analytics if you go into the traffic sources for each video to try to understand what's going on. But another thing that I would do really is like when it comes to these videos themselves, is just kind of zooming out a little bit and thinking like, okay, instead of digging into the stats for this, maybe let me start thinking about like, the viewers that I'm trying to reach and just making sure that I'm really connecting with them. Because, you do have videos on your channel that have done, well. You've got, 23,000 views that you did 10 months ago. You have some that are older, so I'm just going to focus on that particular one from 10 months ago. But you have that. So I would go in and I would just look to see like, okay, if people clicked on this, I mean, it is Christmas. So, that by itself could be the thing. And I see you're, doing Halloween now, which, might be okay here in a few weeks. But the thing that I would look for though, is just thinking or looking into whatever retention that you do have and just seeing if you notice anything that you're doing in the videos that is causing people to leave. And the very first place that you can start is, are you holding people when the videos, first start? Because with your type of content, when it comes to, really it's like vlog style, content. There's a lot of nuance that goes into that too, in terms of, am I talking? Am I not talking? What am I showing? How fast am I showing it? Those types of things. So just making sure that you're nailing it in that regard and just thinking. And this is one where, using the stats if you have them, but if you don't have them, thinking through the lens of, okay, as somebody that's super into Disney, clearly, because you have a YouTube channel about it, if this were to show up my feed and I were to click on it, if it wasn't mine, right? Because you're going to be biased to it a little bit anyway, because you made everything in the way that you think is good. That's why, you got it to the point of publishing it. But try to look at it and think to yourself like, okay, if this were to show up my feed and I were to click on it and it wasn't mine, as I was coming into this video, what about this video when it first starts would make me think like, oh yes, I'm definitely in on this one. I'm watching the rest of this video, right? And then do that through each individual section. And when you're watching it, watch it and try to look at it through the lens of a viewer and think to yourself, okay, where in this do I start to be like, okay, let me check my phone or let me, look at something else. But, just starting to look at it more through the eyes of the viewer, because you can learn a lot from your stats, but where you're at right now, if you're not getting enough views to really get real good information out of it, then just really focusing on that experience and experimenting, the viewer experience, and experimenting a lot with like how you're putting the videos together, how you're starting your videos. Because right now, like if you can get people just a little bit into the video, because your videos here, it looks like you've got like 15-minute videos, 20-minute videos. So the very first thing that I would do right now is I would just focus really hard on like the first minute of your video. After that first minute, do everything like you're currently doing it. But when you're editing your videos, just get super intentional and just think about, okay, but all the stuff that I just said about if I were to come into this video as somebody that's into Disney, like, you know, what specifically about this would make me feel like, yeah, I definitely want to check out this video. Yeah, I want to see that thing that the person's telling me that, you know, they're going to see. Yes, I want to be involved in this challenge that they're trying to do. Yes, I would find it interesting that they're trying to accomplish this thing or do this many rides or whatever the thing is within this amount of time, or, you know, whatever the thing is. But just, you know, work that through just on a human to human level, not necessarily on a, you know, analytics level. And then from there, man, tell you what. So as you're doing tons of experimentation on, you know, that first minute, then you'll start learning things, because, you know, you should, you know, have your views start going up a little bit on that. And then from there, you can, you know, then you'll start getting, you know, the data that you need in order to, you know, make more informed decisions. But, you know, you always just kind of go back to the human level, right? Because, you know, at the end of the day, the analytics, they're a reflection of how people respond to what it is that we do. And we need that information so we can make, you know, better decisions in the future. But at the start, though, you got to think, okay, for the videos that I'm putting out, I'll put that back up on the screen. For the videos that I'm putting out, you know, what to expect going to Disney Resort in October. Title, I think that's good. You know, for a Disney person, that's probably, you know, good. Published it 3 days ago, it might do better, you know, here, you know, over the course of the month, I'm not sure. But, you know, secret menu at Disneyland View Bay restaurant, I think topically that's okay. That video did a little bit better than, you know, the video prior. But basically just, you know, going in and looking at those types of things too. Like one thing that I think you're doing well on this is that you are, you know, you have like the Disneyland logo and stuff like that to help people be able to quickly identify it. So I think that particular thing is good. But yeah, I would just spend a lot of time looking at the human element of what it is that you're doing, and thinking of how to connect better just based on your own, you know, the things that you're into, and, you know, how you would respond to the content itself. So Lex Happy Pencil Art says, why people make AI videos for YouTube. So people make AI videos for YouTube because it's just a, you know, it's a way that they can make content. Some people don't want to be on camera. Some people, you know, don't want to do other things. So they make, you know, content using AI and they post it on YouTube. And then that's their version of being a content creator. So, you know, I know a lot of people are, you know, anti-AI slop and things like that. And it's understandable. You know, I'm not a fan of it either if it's slop. But, you know, there's also some really good content that people are making using AI. My brother D, he's using AI. He's still the human in the middle of it. So he's putting everything together. But he's using AI. He has a TikTok account. So on his TikTok account for this particular one, right now, he has, let's see here. Yeah, right now using AI, but being the human in the middle, because D understands how to make good stuff. He has 3, 6, 9. He has 12 videos on the TikTok account. Out of those 12 videos, he has 29,000 followers. He got monetized in 6 days. He has one video with 1.2 million views, another video with 1.7 million views, another video with 148,000, another video with 216,000, 236,000, 303,000, 272,000, 542,000, 439,000. Like, you know, he's just crushing it over there, and he's making more of these accounts and stuff too. But when it comes to AI, you still got to be able to make good content for it to rise, right? Because, you know, there's tons of content being flooded into YouTube every minute of every day. And because of that, you know, you have to be able to make it good. And if it's not good and people don't respond well to it, then what's going to happen is YouTube is not going to show it to people. YouTube is going to say, hey, people aren't responding well to this. So instead, let's show them content that they are responding to. And then from there, you know, that's where make, you know, content that people respond to well, then, oops, that's my speaker, go here. If you make content that people respond to well, then that's where, you know, it rises above all of that AI slop that people are threatened by. The only thing that I'm not a fan of when it comes to the AI slop is it is impressions, right? So for every video that somebody uploads that is AI slop, to where YouTube has to test it against somebody, then what happens there is that, that's one, impression that a creator that's making good content isn't going to get, right? But YouTube, like they're building this stuff into YouTube Shorts, right? Like you can go into YouTube Shorts right now and you can access VO3 inside of YouTube Shorts. You can make videos right now just by writing in a prompt. Some accounts have audio on them as well, to where it brings in audio. Some accounts do not. And with that, like with the accounts that do have audio, like you can create like somebody sitting in a chair, sitting there talking about something, and it looks realistic if you prompt it well. And that stuff is just gonna, like, YouTube is actually encouraging people to take that particular approach, which is kind of mind bending for me. But whatever their strategy is, I guess they've whatever their long game is, that's what they're going for. But yeah, so I'm not a fan of slop either, because it does take impressions away. But for the people that can make good AI content, yeah, they'll do fine. Monique Bush, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Amber Cowley Music, thank you for the super chat as well. Says, hey, I just started channel memberships. Any advice? Yeah. One, just make sure whatever it is that you're offering is of value to the people that are, channel members, or that, that if somebody's watching your music content to where they would be like, oh yeah, that definitely makes sense for me to, join this. So, for example, with me, part of what I do with my channel memberships is I have a Facebook group and a Discord. And with that, we've also got Doug in there also. And between me and Doug, when people are asking questions and trying to figure things out about sponsorships or things going on with their channels or whatever the thing is, then, one of us will pop in there and make sure that they get those questions answered. For a while, I was doing live streams. I'm going to start doing those again soon as well. Because I'm right in the process right now of just kind of buttoning up, some of the projects that I've been working on. So I'll be doing like live streams and stuff like that too. But the thing when it comes to channel memberships is just thinking about, for the people that are watching your channel, what can you create for them that will, just add value to them in a way to where they'll want to, one, either get your channel membership for the sake of getting whatever it is that you offer, or two, through the value that you provide, they are a channel member for the sake of just, supporting the channel and what it is that you're doing. Ming's Paranormal says, what type of camera do you recommend for going live? I had a Canon M50, which now no longer turns on. Yeah, the M50s are great. So going live, I was going to recommend this, but as you can see during this stream, like it keeps disconnecting. So I'm on a Mac, so it might be because of that. It might be because something else, on the computer. I'm not sure. But typically this camera does work okay for live streams. And when you have the face tracking and stuff, if you are, you're on paranormal content, so you're probably, sitting there, talking to the camera kind of like I am right now. But for people that do, like, let's say you have a wood shop, like Build and Fix with Mooney, and if he's like trying to build something and he wants to just have the camera follow him around, it does that kind of stuff, which is cool. But like high quality cameras, if you're not, going to use something like this, is the Sony, what is it called? ZV-1 is what we use for the solo cams in Nim and Live. I'm really happy with those. And then if you want something that is more customizable in terms of being able to change lenses and stuff, like the M50, then in that case, the Sony EV10 is also really good for live streaming and just making content in general. Let's see here. Okay, so going through looking for questions here. So I'm still working through these. I think I'm like a little bit behind on the questions here, but I'm just kind of going down the list. Says, do you have the DJI plugged in for power? Yeah. So the DJI, so I have the battery pack on it and I have it plugged into my laptop in order for it to pull it in as a webcam. So the battery's completely full and it also charges off of this connection also. I've used it in the past and didn't have any problem with it, but for some reason, it's just giving me a hard time today. So I don't know, I haven't shut my computer down for, a couple of days since I've been here. So it might be that, I'm not sure, but I should have, best practice when you live stream anything is to restart, before you go live. But I did not do that. Chantel says, anybody else surprised that I'm on in sunlight? Yeah, it's interesting for me too, right? Yeah, I was wanting to actually get up, or not get up, but I was wanting to do the stream earlier when I was having the internet problems, just because the sun was coming up. Like, it was gorgeous when I first got up today. Like where I'm at, I'm in Arizona, and like out of my hotel window, I can see like the mountains and like all of that stuff, and the sun was coming up, and the sun's coming up like right there, right outside of the window, and like the sky was just gorgeous, and oh God, it was great. I love the sky here because it's like a higher elevation where I'm at. And yeah, it's just crystal clear. Air quality is amazing. And yeah, it just makes the sky, like the particular blue and the gradients in the sky are absolutely gorgeous out here. Love it. Let's see here. It says, where can I find graphic designers to help me make a banner, a channel banner? So there are designers on Twitter. Be careful over there though, but there's like a whole squad over there. There's like a whole graphic design movement over there of all these graphic designers. But you can also go on Fiverr, if you need something easy. You can go on Upwork if you want to, do any type of design stuff on a regular basis. But just to make it a channel banner, I would just go to like Fiverr.com. Do I think the free version is enough, or a paid version of Canva? It depends, on what you're doing. So in a lot of cases, the free version will do the trick. If you're trying to, use more templates and do more stuff, then the paid version is the way to go. I don't know for sure on Canva, but I think that hey, Monique Bush says they'll do your channel art for you for free right now, by the way, as long as that's the same conversation. But when it comes to Canva, I think some of the AI stuff is behind the paid plans. So Blueprint, my pleasure. Glad you're enjoying the content. Zoom in. Yeah, what? I'm not even sure I'm not even sure how to zoom in on this thing. Oh, look at that. There we go. Fixed. Thank you. Thank you. Shout out to Day One Walks for the zoom in tip right there. Yeah, game changer. Oh, that's great. Thank you. Yeah, that just made my day. Yeah, it's fantastic. Thank you. It has leveled me up with the pocket there. Let's see here. Looking for cues. And again, if you have any questions, we do have some that came into the forum. So I'm going to hop into. We already did the Mangiano adventures here, so I'm going to skip that one. And then we got Chatty Cathy, and Chatty Cathy says that the gold channel is to have fun, and says, what are your thoughts on the new Ask feature? As a viewer, it's great and very accurate, but as a creator, it might not be good because it doesn't give the viewer the incentive to check the description box for the creator's own timestamps. Sometimes there's other info the creator hopes the viewer sees. Yeah. So I'm not a fan at all of any of the AI-generated summaries that YouTube is doing. I know that they were testing for a while. They were testing the AI-generated answers inside of YouTube search. Not a fan of that. It's a video platform, and I believe that as a video platform that content creators are making a living on, I think that providing that kind of thing, and I know it's all viewer, it's all about the viewer at the end of the day for YouTube, but considering they have this ecosystem of content creators that are just, flooding the platform with content that they can, provide their viewers, I would expect YouTube to not do that sort of thing, because I do think, like, it's again great for the viewer. Hey, I got this textual answer. I know what I need to know, and I can move on. But in terms of somebody not having to watch a video or even click on a video and skip through it or whatever in order to get that answer, I think that that's a negative move towards content creators. Yeah, I'm not a fan of any of that auto-generated stuff for the text. Yeah, not a fan of that at all. Next question here is from In Studio IT. They do woodworking, and their goal is to be a full-time creator. Says, what happened with YouTube? I was getting a ton of impressions and nice results in September. From the 1st of September, I get basically 2 or 3 impressions per hour. My most viewed video got 105 impressions. Did this major YouTube update impact my impressions in some way? Is there a fix? I feel like YouTube's just not showing my content, even though the last 2 videos had an 8% CTR and 60 to 70 stayed for the first 30 seconds. So when it comes to YouTube, they have had some problems recently with like ad blockers and views not being counted right, and they have had some of those things. But another thing that I just want to bring to your attention is, even though like the numbers that you're saying, they sound okay, in terms of the 8% CTR and 60 to 70% stayed for the first 30 seconds. That is on the most recent 2 videos, that is only against like 300 views on the video. So it's not, you know, a ton of great info there. But when it comes to that, also remember that the actual topic of the video can also be like a really big deal. So like, you know, here I see that you have this one. I don't speak, I think that's Spanish, so I can't really, you know, give insight on the titles. But the thumbnail itself on this like most recent one that you did with the clock on it, with that video, you know, I would, you know, just experiment with different, you know, thumbnails on that, different packaging in general, because YouTube has that feature now, and see if you can get a better, you know, response on it. Because you're doing woodworking, so there is an audience for that. And oh, it's Italian, okay. So you are doing woodworking and there is an audience for it. So instead of doing like the, oh no, maybe just focusing just on like the cool images of the, you know, things that you're helping people build. And another thing that I just noticed at a glance here is on the autoplay for YouTube. When I autoplay on this one that you did with like the wine holder, the lighting, it's like much brighter and you can clearly see what's going on. Where with the other one, the most recent clock video, it's just really dim in comparison and kind of dark. So yeah, so I would definitely mess with the packaging on that. You might be able to revive that particular video, or it just might need, you know, time to find the viewers. But I would experiment with that one and on the block one that you did next to it that looks like it might be a cabinet, maybe. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what that is. But yeah, so like, you know, when you have those drops like that, like Todd, who actually works on the recommendation system for YouTube, he mentioned something on Twitter. I think it was on Twitter one time where he said that it's interesting that content creators, like when everything's going amazing, you know, they're like, hey, I'm crushing it. I'm doing everything, you know, I'm doing everything right. Like, you know, I'm rocking this. But when things go down, then it's like YouTube's fault, right? It's like, hey, YouTube is like messing up my channel here when things aren't going great. But at the end of the day, I mean, don't get me wrong, you know, it's not a perfect system. Sometimes they do make updates and, you know, things get kind of a little weird for a while, things like that, which goes back to the ebb and flow thing that we were talking about earlier. But, you know, at the end of the day, you know, most of the time, it really comes down to the decisions that we're making around the content, how we're putting everything together, the experience that we're creating for viewers. I saw on your channel that you didn't have like a lot of videos on the channel either. So, so one thing that I would do is I would analyze like how you put together the videos that did do better, because you had some, you know, that had, you know, more views on them. So just looking at those and being like, okay, you know, how did I start them? You know, what did I say? How did I grab their attention? How did I package this up for each different section of the video? When I was building this thing, what did I take out of the video that I might have left in the other one that's kind of wasting people's time and causing them to leave, like that kind of stuff. No, an engaged view isn't called an impression. Like an impression is when they show your content to somebody on the platform, but they, let's flip it. There we go. But they started measuring views on shorts. They started measuring those views as impressions, unfortunately. So that's why you have to look at the watch this. I'm gonna zoom like a professional. Boom! Look at that. Okay. So so yeah, it's not that it's called an impression, but it is an impression. So I mean, I guess technically, yeah, I guess impression if it is an impression, but yeah, they just started measuring it in that way. Okay, so Glorious Earth says how to actually add a music license to YouTube video in Studio. I never found a clear instruction video. I'm too scared of copyright to even try. So what you need to do is you just need to actually have the license. So in the event that you have a copyright dispute, that you have that to lean on, so that you can, hey Neil, what's going on, dude? So that you have the license to actually dispute it. So for example, on our music service that we made, the free music for creators called Creator Mix, on that, you can go down at creatormix.com for those of you that don't know about it. But you can go down to the footer, the very bottom of the website, and you can click on the link to download the license that gives you permission to use the music. And you just want to make sure that you keep that, right? So then in the event that you have somebody shady come along and they try to claim that that's their music, then in that particular case, you can say, no, I got it from here, and here's the license that I have for that. Video Like a Dad says, I want to add some nostalgia-based content to my channel. I've mostly done tips and how-to videos. Should I do it in a different channel or start a playlist? So the general rule of thumb when it comes to YouTube is thinking about it from the lens of the viewers. So for example, like if you're publishing something to the channel that the people that are already interacting with the current content would be extremely likely to also click on and enjoy, then in that case, it's okay to publish on the same channel. If you're publishing something that the last videos that you've published on the channel, that topically, those people probably, wouldn't be into it at scale, then in that particular case, I would not publish it on the same channel. So Renee Ritchie, he's YouTube's creator liaison, and he just has a real simple way that he frames this, and he says, same audience, same channel, right? So if it's the same type of viewer that you're trying to reach, then in that case, publish it on the same channel. If it's a different type of viewer, then publish it on a different channel. Let's see here. Thank you for this so much. My pleasure. Glad that you are enjoying the content. I agree. Hit the like button. Share this out. Let's see here. Looking for any questions here. I'm just kind of pulling these out of the chat. Let's see here. Neil says, I'm guessing you're in Dallas. So right now I'm in Arizona right now. So I'm leaving for Dallas in like 3 days. I'm heading to Dallas. I'll be in Dallas on Monday. What's going on, Alex? What's up, two giant goofballs? Let's see here. Says, why are shorts so important? I'm focusing on long form. I still upload shorts, but the best moments or clips from long form aren't both different audiences. So it's not that shorts are important. It's that you have to think when it comes to YouTube shorts, hey man, what's going on? Hope you're doing awesome. When you are looking at YouTube shorts, it's not that they're so important. It's that, do they work into your strategy or not, right? Like, are you trying to reach people in YouTube shorts? How exactly will YouTube shorts add value to your channel? Because you're gonna be putting effort into the content that you make. So thinking of it through the lens of, okay, why am I publishing YouTube shorts? And you should do this for video content, like long form, live streams, everything. Why am I live streaming? What exactly is it that I'm trying to do here? Why am I publishing this video to the channel? What exactly am I trying to do there? Why am I publishing, these YouTube shorts? And just, be clear on, why you're doing everything. And that can really help you identify things that, you might be wasting time on, or things that you need to double down on also, right? To where if you're like, hey, I'm trying to get a lot of subscribers on the channel because I've got the watch time requirements for my long form content, but for whatever reason, people aren't subscribing there as much as they subscribe when I publish shorts. Therefore, if I'm trying to get monetized and get in the partner program, let me publish some shorts along with my long form content so that I can increase the subscribers faster because people are responding better there. So the purpose of me publishing shorts would be to connect with the viewers, right? The people I'm trying to reach in shorts, but also on my benefit, so that I can also increase my subscriber count, so that I can meet the requirements of the partner program faster, right? So just having those clear reasons for doing things can be very helpful and answer a lot of questions about the decisions that you make. Same thing for live streaming. People ask, hey, do I need to live stream my channel? Should I live stream my channel? The answer to that is, if you are, live streaming because, you want to, for any reason, if you're live streaming and you have a clear reason to live stream, then in that case, absolutely do it. But if you're live streaming just because, other people live stream and you think that maybe you might, that you should do it, then in that case, I would dig a little bit deeper and try to, find a reason to live stream, either in the value that you're giving, the value that you're getting, or, in exchange of both. 100%. Yeah, the blueprint says AI is not going anywhere. Might as well start learning how to use it. Yeah, there's a lot of people right now that are anti-AI, and I'm just thinking to myself, like, what are you doing? It's like being like, anti, like progress, or anti, like you're just like intentionally disconnecting yourself from the way things that the way things are going. So yeah, I completely agree. Yeah, with some of this stuff, because I'm pretty heavy into it. I'm building like apps and stuff, and I've got like all these things that I do. I've got tons of like personal workflow tools that I've built for myself. Just little stupid things that just help me fix problems or jump to things in analytics faster, or whatever the thing is, or just things in my regular life. And yeah, it just blows my mind that people are anti AI. Yeah, Jerry says 30 years ago, people said the internet was a fad, right? Absolutely. Any advice on sports content creators or other topics where it's more current events as opposed to evergreen? Yeah, just make sure that you are trying to stay on top of it as you possibly can. So speaking of AI, you can set up automations as well to where you have like through services like make.com or N8N. I think Zapier can do it as well. Oh, by the way, if you're an Opus Clip user and a Zapier user, they have an integration now to where, like, if you have your short form videos and let's say you just want to use the captioning side of Opus Clip, then you can drop them into a Dropbox folder. Zapier's monitoring it. It automatically sends them over to Opus Clip and you can download them from there for quick captioning. You can upload videos into a Dropbox folder. It'll automatically send them over there for to clip the videos, like all kinds of different things. I made a video on their YouTube channel about how to use it. But anyway, in the sports situation here, you can use tools like N8N or make.com to where you set up automations to where every single day it just checks and lets you know everything that's happening in the world of sports. And then you can pick and choose, the different things. And technically, depending on how you set it up, you can say, okay, here's all the things that are happening around sports. The next step, once that comes out, is, give me some packaging ideas for all of these different topics about all these things that are happening in sports. And then you can wake up or check in later that day, whatever the thing is. And you can say, okay, I'm going to do this one, I'm going to do this one, I'm going to do this one, or I'm going to do this particular one right here because it seems the most compelling and the highest, interest. You can do that kind of stuff too. But just staying on top of it, is going to be the thing for you, and making sure that you're showing up as much as possible because, if you're doing news related content, then timeliness is of the utmost importance in that case. Let's see here. Oh, nice. Live stream 3 times a week. Had your first behind the scenes member only live stream yesterday and it went well. Awesome. Awesome. Let's see here. Just looking for questions, just kind of scrolling down. Yeah, who restarts their computer, right? Let's see here. Steve still in Thailand, or did you lose him in Mexico again? Yeah, he's still in Thailand. He had other obligations this year, unfortunately. Let's see here. I think there should be acknowledgement that it's AI too. Many people believe what they see. Yeah, so YouTube has the checkbox that you're supposed to select if it is AI content. And all the other platforms have that now as well. Okay, free advice to creators from third world countries. Absolutely, I got you. So coming from a third world country, a lot of people try to penetrate the Western market because that's where higher ad rates are and things like that. But I really encourage you to learn the basics of YouTube where you're at. And then once you learn the basics of YouTube, then start another channel and learn how to get things to work, and then apply it to the market that you're trying to reach. If you're trying to get into the Western market, if you are just trying to reach people, in your area, in your region, then in that case, just try to make the best content for them, as possible. I know some places sponsorships are harder and things like that. So what I recommend when it comes to sponsorships, I did a few years in a row. I did a program where they took me to Armenia, and I did I think it was like a 5-day training. Yeah, it was 5 days of a training on, how to do YouTube. And basically, every day we spent, a bunch of hours, just going over YouTube, showing them how to make videos, all these things. And there were also some content creators in there that had experience, but the problems that they had was monetizing things. And at that time, it might be different now, but at that time in Armenia, they had trouble with sponsorships because the local businesses, they didn't see the value in YouTube because over there, it wasn't at the time what it is, here. So what I told them is I said, okay, well, in that case, just mark the local sponsorship stuff off of the list and instead reach out to international sponsors because, people that already operate, large companies that already operate in other countries, they already know the value of influencer marketing. So reach out to them. So in that particular case, she reached out to Pepsi, and she reached out to Coke and like some other, brands. And she actually got it to where they were having like a bidding war with her. And then she ended up getting like a lot of money from, whichever one she went with, I can't remember, but she got a lot of money from them because, they understand that, influencer marketing is good. They understood that people are responding well to her in that country, and that placing their products with her would long-term be advantageous to their brand. So, international brands, they're hip, they get it. So if your local people don't get it, then in that case, go international because they're already familiar with that sort of thing. In addition to that, depending on where you're at, I know that, because I travel a decent amount, and I know that, some places have more challenges when it comes to, gear, cameras and microphones. It's funny that as I say that, my camera fails, but because of that, just work with what you have. Like I saw, and I thought this was extremely inspirational when I saw this, but it was a while back. There was a video that went viral, and it was these guys. I think they were in like Nigeria or something like that, and they took like a green bed sheet, and they made like this, they're super creative, and they made like really cool content and like green screen themselves out of it. And they ended up going viral on like, multiple platforms. They ended up getting like news coverage, all over the world and all this stuff, just because they leaned on their creativity, not the limitations of the technology. They made everything on their phones. Even the edits and everything is all done on their phones. So, don't think that you have to have, all the nice cameras and stuff like that. Everything is more about the creativity that you have. And the, your commitment to learning how to do the thing. And then if you focus on that, then, other opportunities will open up for you. Let's see here. I recently updated my channel keywords and description. Can that lead to a reset period where the algorithm tries to refine your audience? No, it doesn't necessarily like refine, your audience, but, it does take all of that stuff into context. At the end of the day, the thing that's going to make the most difference for you is the video content itself. So when you're publishing the top, the videos on the topics that the people that you're trying to reach care about, then YouTube's going to be like, hey, they're, like this channel is about this, and, the keywords and stuff is all taken into context as well. But it's going to make the channels about this. So let's show it to people that are interested in this, right? And the video individually is about this. So let's show it to, people that are interested in this. But when it comes to like channels being like reset, videos being reset, stuff like that, that's not something that like happens on YouTube. It's like all those things are taken into context, but everything, really at the end of the day, the thing to focus on more than anything else, like dial in all those little, details that they are important. But at the end of the day, just focus all of your efforts on topics that people care about, making that connection with them, when they come into the content, and creating a great experience that they'll want to come back for. And then from there, the next video, same exact thing for that same exact type of viewer, and just keep rinsing and repeating that process. Like focus on that and learn how to get really good at that. And then everything kind of falls into place. Let's see here. New here, trying to build my channel. I have live stream access and hopefully make new friends. Cool, cool, cool. Welcome to the stream. Let's see. I'm just kind of scrolling down, looking for any cues here. Yep. I'm in Arizona right now. Normally I'm in Thailand, but right now I'm in Arizona. Can you have multiple kinds of viewers on your channel? Yeah, you can technically, but like variety channels are just not the way to go now. So technically on YouTube, like you can do anything you want in terms of, like you can make videos to where no video ever is targeted towards the same audience. But the downside of that is, that consistency side of getting people to come back and, in YouTube being like, hey, we know for a fact that, these viewers are going to be interested in this based on them already engaging with your channel. So for example, you see, let me see if I can pull one up because I screenshot these a lot on channels, but like YouTube will tell you and give you like these little details, right? Like, like right here, right? Views are 4 times higher than usual. And all of us get this in our creator studio, right? Views are 4.3 times higher than usual. More subscribers are choosing to watch it, and they're watching it longer, helping to increase its reach and recommendations. So what it's telling you right there is that the people that are the most interested in your content, the people that are into it enough to subscribe, that they're responding to this new video that you published. And because of that, it's helping to increase its reach in YouTube's recommendation, right? So that's why having, a particular type of viewer that you're going after and then making everything that you do pointed at that type of viewer. That's why that's the best strategy for trying to grow a channel faster. Snazzy Vegan Life says Armenian here. Oh, nice. Nice. I love your country. Beautiful experience that I had over there. Yeah, I went over there a few different times. It was amazing. Absolutely loved it. Oh, you've never been? Oh, okay. Armenian American. Okay. Cool. Yeah, it is. It's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, I can't remember the actual name of the place that I went to, but like I know one of them was in it used to be like an old ski resort, and it was pretty. But the next year that I went, it was like way farther away, and it was in this like super modern creativity center thing that they made. And just super modern. The whole thing is surrounded by glass. Like it was just gorgeous. And outside, just gorgeous views of like snow-capped mountains, and like not just capped, but just like covered in snow mountains and stuff. It was it's gorgeous. Mullet on Shorts, different things in daily life like gardening, DIY, travel, etc. I have about 560 subs. Is that okay to continue? Or pick one type like gardening? It depends. Like if you're publishing content for the sake of like, hey, I'm just making videos for fun, I'm just uploading these videos, and when I publish them, some people are gonna like some videos, some people aren't. I'm cool with that. I'm not trying to get ad revenue, up. I'm not trying to, grow a community, anything like that. I'm just, publishing videos for fun. In that case, you don't have to worry about any of that stuff. But if you're like, hey, I'm wanting to, become a resource for people for a certain type of content so that they'll continue to come back to the channel, so that, I can also make like ad revenue, so I can make all these connections with people that are interested in these things like I am, so that I can, explore other opportunities down the road, that sort of thing. Then in that case, I do recommend that you, focus things towards a particular, type of viewer. So think of it like context, right? So when it comes to channel keywords, like you don't have to have them, and YouTube system is smart enough to figure out what's going on with your channel. But all of the little tiny details that you can add just to give their system just a little bit more information is advantageous. So to be clear on that, because you said, do they matter much? So to be clear, putting channel keywords isn't going to blow up your channel. However, having channel keywords might help YouTube fine-tune exactly the understanding of exactly what it is that you are offering on your YouTube channel as a whole. Hello, sir. I'm 17. I've been planning to start a YouTube channel without my own face or voice, but I'm lacking video ideas. Yeah, so this is really common as a content creator. So the first thing that I recommend that you do is go through the process of, of learning how to come up with video ideas. So one thing that can help with that is setting a goal for yourself in terms of, what you're trying to accomplish, not just not just I want to get a bunch of views, but I'm trying to, position myself as the go-to channel in this particular niche, or one of the go-to channels in this particular niche. In that particular case, that will tell you the content that you need to make, because you can look at other channels in that niche and you can see what it is that they're doing. And then you can, you don't have, I'm not saying like copy them, but you can look at what it is that they're doing. And you can say, okay, well, if other channels in my niche are doing these particular things, then, and people are responding to them well, then in that case, what else, might these people respond to based on what they're to on these other channels? That's the idea. Watch this, zoom in like a pro, boom. All right, so let's see here. Does the algorithm pick up old videos if change video title, thumbnail, and video description by using AI to make it more SEO friendly? So it's not that it picks up old videos, it's that as long as those videos are still getting impressions, or as long as they're still showing those videos to people, then the changes that you make to your thumbnail and title those will cause the people that are viewers of YouTube, that'll cause them to react to your videos either in the same way or better or worse. So if they start responding to it better, then in that case, then YouTube will say, hey, people are responding to this now, so let's show it to more people like these people that are responding well to it. So that's where those changes help you. Same thing with SEO. If it wasn't optimized for that, and YouTube, and you re-optimize it for SEO, then in that case, that can help you because then if, people are looking for that and then YouTube's going through its system, like, hey, what videos do we have that people responded to well, based on this topic, and then it shows your video there because you've optimized it for that, then yeah, that can be advantageous as well. Like I've had videos on my channel and people that I've worked with in the past too, where like a video, like it just didn't perform well in recommendations, and it's like, okay, well, that's fine. Now I'm going to change it to, I'm going to re-optimize it for search specifically, so that if people are looking for it there, that it might be pulled up as an option, and and that's brought videos to life, so to speak. But YouTube system's pretty smart though. Like, you'll see on YouTube, you'll see videos that that aren't even optimized for search. But YouTube's system is smart enough to know topically that if somebody's looking for that this video. Guess I should stop tinkering with that thing while I'm live. But basically, their system will be like, hey, it'll be a good fit. So then it'll put it in those places. Okay, webcam. I got to figure out what the deal is there. I usually leave this Osmo Pocket in my car, so it's possible the heat has just kind of messed a little bit. That might be part of the problem I'm dealing with here. With it just continuing to shut down. All right, so looking for questions. In your opinion, what's the most effective shorts length? I get the best results on shorts that are less than 1 minute. Yeah, a lot of people do. That's really common on YouTube. So yeah, the shorter shorts do tend to do like better, like across the board. But for people that are really good at holding attention, things like that, like the longer ones can like really blow up. But it like across the from my experience of different channels and stuff, the shorts are, that are shorter do usually, perform better. Okay. So Ben Abay says, do channel pivots actually work? 10 years ago, I used to make Call of Duty videos when I first made my channel. Does YouTube still use that data for current videos, even if unlisted? The videos are different now. So channel pivots absolutely do work. Love Kit, what's going on? Man, this thing just keeps going down. What's going on? Misunderstood. What's up, Love Kit? But yeah, when it comes to pivoting, yeah, pivoting, absolutely. You can pivot a YouTube channel. The whole thing with that is that when you pivot a YouTube channel is that, you start making content in that direction. The path there is that you still, make content for, your core viewers while you're in the process of pivoting. If you want to do a slow pivot, either way it goes, you're going to have some pains, along the way. But if you're like, hey, I want to, I don't want to make that content anymore, and I just want to go and do something else, like you can do that. You can do that too. And as long as people respond, at the end of the day, that's what it all comes down to. Like, as long as people respond. So that's why, like me and, channels like me, like the whole thing that we do is we try to teach you like the things that are important to, YouTube and viewers, and then how to identify things if they're working or if they're not working, and how to, make content and the things to keep in mind when it comes to making content so that you can, do things in a way that people respond to. Have you checked your power saving settings on the camera? I have not. I will look into that after the stream. Thank you. Yeah, that actually might be the culprit here. Okay, so if you are just joining the stream, if you have any questions, just put a Q in front of the question, and I will get it answered here. So I'm just kind of going through these here on the stream. And by the way, for those of you that are here, because I know that normally I stream like a few hours earlier, so for some of you this might be a new stream for you. So just so you know, I have an app that I made for YouTubers that's pinned up at the very top of the screen. So if you are, a content creator, which you are, if you have an iPhone, then definitely check out the app. It's called New Creator. You can find it on the App Store. But it's super cool. It's got a content calendar in there to help you stay organized with reminders if you choose to use them. Thing to where you can upload your thumbnails. They give you feedback on things that you can do better to make that you can do to make the thumbnails better. It has a title tool to help you see different titles for different titling strategies based on like where you're trying to get views from and how you're trying to do it. All kinds of really cool stuff like that. It will come for Android eventually. Like the next thing up is I have a web-based version of it that's going to be coming out soon. I was hoping to get it done before VidSummit, but this stuff's like complicated, so I wasn't able to do it. I had two things that I was trying to get done, side by side for VidSummit. One of them is a coffee project. So in the morning, instead of like scrolling TikTok and news and stuff like that, I have what I call coffee projects, which are like software projects that I just work on my laptop just during the time that I'm having coffee. I was hoping that the one would get done, and then I was hoping and then I have like the work ones that I do, which is where I'm going and intentionally spending a lot of time trying to make everything work right and work on the user experience and all that stuff. But unfortunately, I don't think the one. If I have onboarding and submitted, I might be able to get that one at least submitted before VidSummit. But all of it's just not ready yet, like I was hoping it would be. So really quick, Miss Bella Game says, can your app be used on an iPad too? Yeah, it's actually the only creator-focused app that is actually optimized for iPad. So so like this, for example, this one, I'm not connected to the Wi-Fi, so none of my like iCloud stuff is coming in here right now on this. But yeah, this is my iPad mini, and this is what it looks like on my iPad mini. But yeah, you got the whole shebang in here. You got like a whole list of like different tools and stuff like that on the iPad. Like it's super, super cool. Even like video ideas, like there's the content idea log. And with this, basically, you can organize all of your content ideas and you can organize them by the content type and you can sort. So like, let's say, for example, if I'm like, hey, what are my shorts ideas? Then I can just click that and then I see, all the ideas, for shorts, all kinds of stuff like that. There's another feature too that I enjoy a lot. And that is if you're on YouTube in the YouTube app and you see like a video that you like or a title that you like, you're like, hey, I want to watch this later, something like that. Then you can hit the share button and then you click on more after you hit the share button, and then you can select the app and then it'll save it inside of the app. So then you can say, okay, I'm going to make a thumbnail. So the ones that I've saved that like I really like, let's say the ones I've saved that I really like the title, then I can select that. And these are the ones that I like the title. If it's the thumbnail by itself, then I can select the thumbnail tag up here. And then it's the thumbnails, that I thought were cool. And then you can just kind of go through, all of that stuff. But yeah, it's super cool. But there's a free trial for it. It's like 7 days. So you can try it. If you think it's cool, then you can use it. If you don't, then you don't have to, of course. But yeah, tons of really helpful tools in there for you to help you with all kinds of things around your YouTube channel. It's especially good if you are, like you're busy and you do stuff like, like you're doing like a little bit of stuff at work, a little bit of stuff while you're waiting for people, a little bit of stuff at home, around your YouTube channel. It's awesome for that because it's all like iCloud synced and, all of that stuff. Let's see here. Best easy app to make thumbnails for beginners. TubeSpanner is great. Canva is great. Photoshop's complicated, so I don't recommend that. Like if you want to learn the complicated stuff, then Photoshop is the go-to. But easy, yeah, tubespanner.com, canva.com. And then when it comes to apps, I'm not sure. I think Canva has an app, actually. So I know TubeSpanner is working on one, but I know Canva has one already. So you might want to check out their app. Coffee projects. Yep, it's all about coffee, right? Making songs about coffee, projects about coffee. It's all about coffee. Yep. Let's see here. Do you find community posts to be worthwhile or a waste of time? This is one of the, hey, you're Arizona shoots. I'm in Arizona right now. So when it comes to community posts, I find them to be helpful for what I'm trying to do. For other content creators, I think that it's a good opportunity for you to get a better understanding of the people that you're trying to reach. So for example, on my community feed, one of the things that I've started doing recently is I've started adding like some challenges in there, started adding some homework. And the idea for those is that with the, because I'm trying to help content creators like do better. So because of that, like the homework, the whole idea with the homework posts is that people can go, when they see those posts and they can follow the homework, and then they can go and like look for things that will hopefully give them insights into, things that maybe they might be overlooking, or maybe it's a detail that they might not have, seen yet or something like that. But it just kind of is a way to just kind of give people those things that they can do to better understand, different aspects of, what it is that they're doing. So it's helpful there. It's also helpful when it comes to getting a better understanding. So like you'll see a lot of questions asked in my community posts. And the reason for that is because those questions help me better understand what it is that you care about, and helps me better understand, different aspects of you, so that when I'm making content that I can make sure that I'm, doing the best that I can to serve you better. So my alarm is going off here, my timing alarm. So I got to check out of my hotel here. So I'm going to wrap this up and say thank you for hanging out. I know this is a little bit different than what we normally do on Saturday, but I appreciate you, coming and hanging out here for the, hour and a half that we did spend here on the stream today. Everybody have a great rest of your weekend. And just in case you weren't here earlier in the stream, VidSummit announced that they are doing the live VidSummit as well. So because of that, if you go to, I think it's VidSummit, what's the thing here? It's on my Twitter. I'll drop the link in here for you. But basically, if you can't make it, but you are wanting to do the, you're wanting the information, then in that particular case, the live is going to be a good solution for you. And as a part of that, they also give you the replays as a part of this as well. I'll just drop it in the chat here real quick. Oh, Chantel's got it already. Okay. But basically with that, it's live. So you get to watch the presentations live. And then because there's multiple presentations going on at different times, then you can go in and you can, you get the replays. So then after, everything's over, it usually takes a few days, then you get the replays, you'll have access to the replays forever. So you can go in there and, just kind of learn at your own pace, which is pretty cool. But everybody have a great rest of your weekend. If you're going to VidSummit, I will see you next week. Super pumped up to hang out. If you are not, then in that case, hopefully you'll check in on the lives, or, I'll see you next Saturday. And I might publish a video between now and next Saturday. We'll see. But have a great rest of your weekend. Thank you so much for hanging out, and I will see you next time.